So I think that was a moment that probably shouldn't have happened.
So overall, I mean, what were your thoughts on the coronation? How did they mix modern with tradition?
I thought the coronation was fantastically well done. You had all the pomp and pageantry that Britain does so well, but with a very modern take. There were the celebrities there was the gospel choir, there was the sort of paring back of the costumes. So it was much more of a sort of meritocracy rather than aristocracy. It wasn't all the ermine and crowns that we had 70 years ago. There were sort of people in normal workwear, almost in lounge suits, in outfits they might wear to a wedding. So it felt open and inclusive on the one hand, but full of the tradition and the ancient pageantry that we love. So I thought the royal family, Buckingham Palace, blended the two very, very well.
How do you think the King Charles handled this immense spotlight? Millions and millions of people watching, and 2,000 people in Westminster Abbey. I mean, he looked cool, calm, and collected to me.
I think the king was fantastically cool, calm, and collected. You're right. There were a couple of moments when he was left waiting in the carriage. Were the Prince and Princess of Wales late? Were they meant to be behind him? Who knows? But I think there were a few moments when you thought, is this running exactly to time? And I've heard today that a couple of things weren't quite as planned. But I think, for somebody watching, as a sort of just as a TV viewer, you couldn't really see any of the mistakes. The king was very calm. The king looked very moved at moments. I think he was sort of genuinely touched by it. And I think, the Queen did it brilliantly too, because I was told beforehand she'd been rehearsing with the crown on her head, getting in and out of the carriage. They were concerned about where the comfort breaks would come. How long would they have to sit in the carriage and in the church? But I think all of them looked pretty good. I thought there was a moment when the Queen curtsied to the king. She looked a little bit as though she might wobble. The crown looked a little precarious, but Camilla is so good. She carried it off with total aplomb. So yeah. Pretty flawless, I would say.
Definitely. Can you share any of those things that may have gone a little wrong that we may have missed?
Well, I heard that the Prince and Princess of Wales should have been walking in before the King and the Queen. If you look at the order of service, they were meant to be at their seats first. So I think that was a moment that probably shouldn't have happened. I think they weren't meant to be behind him on the procession in. I think there were both on the leaving of Buckingham Palace and the arrival at Westminster, the King and the Queen were left sitting in the carriage for a little longer than perhaps had been planned. But apart from that, I think it was all pretty smooth.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, as they were running. It seemed like they were running a little late, and I'm like, as a mom of 2 kids, I know it's hard getting them out the door. So who knows? Maybe little Louis was acting up. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that little crystal tiara of Kate's or Charlotte's just took a little bit long to attach.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below, and visit usmagazine.com.